Hello everyone. I'm going to talk about the Sustainable Program, Agenda 2030 and Agenda 21. This is Agenda 21. All these programs have to be achieved by 2030. They have 10 years to implement this until 2030, until the deal ends. It's up to each state to get their citizens into submission with a joint comprehensive plan of action for Americans from Obama. Um, this place here was built and created to enforce the enforcer of Agenda 21. This place here, Baltic 21, was built for enforcing Agenda 21. Um, all these plans should be complete by 2030. If this completes by 2030, the rest of these files show, and we'll look at them in a minute, show that there will be no more government, there will be no more president, one world leader, one world religious Shah, and this plan will be implemented. All of the um, all of these sustainable goals, all of these have to be done in the next 10 years because the deal was 10 years and it was to expire 2030. So basically all of this here is just a goal for the people to do. And if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. But they're going to make it work and it's going to work and it's going to continue on. Now, I just did that just to make sure that this stuff's recording because I've made this video 570 times. Okay. The UN Pocket 21 here, these are the overseers and the creators and this and that. This here is the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action for Americans that Obama reset the world. This is where he reset the Middle East and the world as we know it, and the war and the shahs and the principles and a lot of things that we're going to get into right quick. 2015, 5 years went past without us knowing, and that's why it says 10 years. So they have 10 years to get this plan done, because in 10 years, Agenda 2030, in 10 years, the plan should be reached, the deal should be done, the Middle East peace plan, the world reset, the war reset, the Bible reset, everything, world reset. This Wikipedia page is today. This is today. A couple months ago, I knew that they were changing words in here because I followed it, and they took out the words that I use here to connect every single thing that I'm saying. Every single thing that I'm saying, I cannot prove if those words are not here. Now they did that on purpose, but I want to show you the words that are missing from here because I already saved them a few months ago. It's the only way to complete the story of Agenda 2030. Without those words, there's no connection to what I'm going to reveal. This is my old time video, but it's still the same though. It hasn't been changed because I made a quick video of it real quick before they did change it. Now this is what it says. After the 15 years, the treaty will come to its term. Then the extraordinary restrictions will no longer be applicable. These here are restrictions. This here is something extraordinary Obama did as a traitor for them, and numbers of the restrictions. There's what they're talking about here. And at that time, in 2030, it's understood that the people involved in the 1979 resolution will no longer be politically active. These people here are politically active for the next 10 years to enforce this joint comprehensive plan of action onto Americans. It's a treaty. It's a peace treaty. It's a Middle East peace deal. It's a world reset. Okay, it's all type of stuff, and I can prove that right here. See, that'd be me there. Okay, but and then X this out because the deal is not even about that. The deal is not about nuclear bombs. See, this here is what the deal is about. The people involved in 1970. Let's go look at that. Let's go look at that. That's me a few months ago before they changed it in Wikipedia because I was already on this. And that's reproof right there. Now, see how it's not here anymore? They changed it. It's not here anymore. Okay? Because that's important. That 2,500-year revolution thing that we was just looking at. Let's see what Obama did. He gave them 10 years worth of power, declared them Shah of the world, declared America no longer a threat to his kingdom from 2,500 years ago. That's what it said, right? The people involved in the 1979 revolution. Okay, 1979 revolution. Let's go look at that. 1979 revolution. Clicking. He's the first Shah. He's the second. He's the first Shah. The other one was the second Shah. This is the 2,500-year Persian monarch, the 2,500-year revolution that Obama ended. He reset this war to zero. 1949 reset this war to the 40-year war. Obama came along, reset the 40-year war to zero. He reset this 2,500-year war to zero. Now he's the first Shah. Ali Khamenei is the second Shah. There are no more Shahs until you rewind 2,500 years to the first Shah. Now, why did Obama reset this first Shah and make these people the great Satan? Not the United States, but them. And we're fixing to get into this right here. See, these people here keep calling us that because we call them that. Okay, now let's get into the 2,500-year monarch. Now remember, I've already showed you Obama had reset the world right here. Now let's get into this. Click out of this again. Okay. These people have 10 years. Obama and the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action for Americans from Iran has 10 years. A long-run CC with the Sustainable Program. If this works out, he will be the Shah for 10 years, and it still is, and Trump stopped it and postponed it, everything. That's why the Supreme Leader's mad that the power Obama gave him isn't in full effect yet. Why would Obama... Now check this out. There's a 2,500-year gap. Ali Khamenei's first successor was Zoroaster. This man created Zoroastrian. He created the temple that Ali Khamenei sits in. Ekbatana, this was named after Zoroaster. This is where the Supreme Leader sits. This is where the Obama-Iran deal was done. The world reset was done here in this mystery city. Understand that. Isra Achmita. This place means Ekbatana. That's this place. This is the old palace where Zoroaster sat in Medes, in the palace in Babylon the First. Where Alexander the Great was also buried, and the treasure was buried in this temple where he got killed. And it's a mystery about all that. But after you figure this out, you know what happened. He was killed. He wasn't sick. If you look where he was killed, look at why he was killed. This is unreal. check it out. Um, the first Shah, the first king of Medo, um, was slain uh, for boasting the Lord. Right here, and I beheld the beast, he was in his body destroyed. This is in Daniel, in Iron, and Baytana. This guy, Zoroaster, the first Shah, was slain, and he was allowed to continue in the pit at work. And I prevailed the same horn, made war with the saints, and fell against them until the end. Until the end. In Revelations, the guy, this dragon, this AI dragon, the serpent, um, the beast was like a leopard. The leopards in Daniel was in Daniel. The leopard was right here. Out of the same empire be the fourth kingdom on earth. Anyways, and I saw when it says as it was wounded dead, and his deadly wound was healed. Okay, this here is a 2,500-year gap. And I beheld another beast come out of there. This is the false prophet. This guy has been locked up 2,500 years. He was slain here. He was slain 2,500 years ago. This guy here, the same two exact same people. This is the false prophet that comes out of there that exercises all the first beast before him, the one that was wounded in Daniel 2,500 years ago. When this false prophet comes out, Iran's God, and the reason everyone's having problems today in America is they're the cause. They're God, the great Satan. They worship God as Satan. They're the great Satan. That prophet, that false prophet, makes everybody worship the first beast, the one who received the deadly wound. Okay, that was and he acts out the power of the first beast that was slain and causes the earth to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. So you're worshiping the same exact guy. One's dead. He was dead, now he's healed. And this guy, his number is 666, but his name is Zoroaster. That was the whole point. Like, we just got done talking about that. So this is what Obama reset. He reset the world. He reset the fourth dimension. He set the abomination that causes the desolation of each individual. And that's here in Daniel. And it really makes me mad. It says that we are to overrun them, and the saints are to overrun them until the end. They think to change laws and times. No, and we know who this is. But the judgment shall sit, and me, the Christian, shall take away his dominion, consume it, destroy it to the end. And then God promises, Jesus promises all this stuff. He promises their land is ours, and to overrun them, and that they're going to rise up and break everything. That's what Revelation said. The dragons, the AI, take over. The serpent is the virus. The virus, the original upload of the tree. That virus. It will, a program. Satan being locked up here. Zoroaster being slain here. His name was Satan from then on forward. Satan, he's in the pit at work, allowed to continue until the end. He's been building a plan. He built the AI infrastructure on Earth, and he's going to target each individual person. Now, in the 2030s, about one world leader and all of these things, and Obama has signed the parole for these things. And here, he declared the Satan and his people, the supreme people, the opposite, he gave the oppressed the power. That's what he did for 10 years. Now, it says that the dragon has 10 years from the time you see the sign when Trump got in office. Now, this guy went after the woman for 10 years, for 3.5 years, and then for 3.5 years more. So something, there's more to the story, but I don't want to go into what I'm going to say after Trump, because you've heard it before, heard it's all true. Um, that'll be it. I mean, I want to say, but then I would actually be projecting. Right now, I'm not projecting nothing. I'm just telling you what this says. It's not even my own stuff. Alexander the Great, um, he built a gate, a bronze gate in Armenia to keep out the barbarians of the north, Gog and Magog, which is Azerbaijan, and they're fighting today. Alexander the Great knew Daniel. Daniel told Nebuchadnezzar the dream, and then Daniel told Alexander the Great that he was the one chosen to do these things. And Daniel 2 says why Iran is in the trouble that they're in. You've read all this stuff before, but you've never known who it was for. Baltic 21. So we just went over all of this. Like, that was pretty quick. This Avista foretells of a story of Zoroaster, of the false prophet coming back up out of the pit. This guy here is the dragon. He's Satan. AI as the dragon is being represented as that. Satan is that first guy, that false prophet Satan. That was his day one of the 2500-year war. This guy here is the head. He's the current living head, but he's not the Antichrist, the false prophet. But he is the current living head of Satan, and they all worship Satan as God. Zoroaster is the highest spirit worshipped in Islam, whom is called God. He created the temple that the supreme leader still sits in, where the deal was done. This is where they sit. This is the whole temple. It's all the same exact temple. The fire hasn't been out in 2,500 years. Agenda 21, the files are different than Agenda 2030, because after Agenda 2030, after the deal ends, after the termination plan, if I was to click, after it'll say, they've changed it so much, it's just unreal. It would say, after the deal, and it says foreign affairs after the deal. So so Obama went around and made peace plans with everybody, Macedonia, and caused war everywhere. Like, he went around the whole entire country, because I have other videos too. But he went around and made war every single place. Like Hollywood, okay, they're Marxist people. They call okay, Marxism was created and established by Nero in Azerbaijan. Okay, it's called Marxist, not Nazi. But they know that. They call us Nazi, but yet they're hiding the true fact that they're Marxist from Nero. And that was established and created in Azerbaijan. You know, Hollywood, their religious heritage comes from here. This is Iran's brother. Hamas in Syria was pushed out of Iran. That's their cousin. They live in Syria, and they've been fighting. Saladin of Iran started an everlasting crusade against a place called Nazareth, and Alexander the Great's ancient soldiers have been fighting for 2,500 years. They're the Kurds, the Macedonian Kurds in Syria. And the land was given to them and pieced out, and the treaty is still in effect. And they inherited that land. Saladin gave it to him in exchange for his life. Philip of Alexander the Great, those are ancient soldiers. Basically, the story is done, because there is nothing else after this but biblical stuff. Like the politics of this, the politics of Agenda 2030, that's gonna lead off into the Bible, like just weird stuff that is just, people are not gonna believe that stuff. Like, they're just not. They're just. I don't. Just go. Just listen. It's a. It's an AI takeover. um, there, there's a lot into what I've said here, and there's a lot to what I've shown here, and it means a lot. Yes, I'm saying that this place here reigns over the king, reigns over every king and shah. Their God does. Um, they have their cup runs over with the blood of the saints and Christians, and they love it. And their heritage of religion is Iran's brother, the most feared people over there in the Middle East. It's a feared family. Alexander the Great built the gates to keep out Azerbaijan, and this war has started. This is Gog and Magog. This war has restarted. Where Daniel leaves off, where he leaves off right here, this is what Trump says here. He stands for the people, and this is what Michael does whenever at Revelations 12. This is what he does. Michael stands for the people who's not ready at that time. Excuse me. Um, okay, and then the books were sealed and then all this and that, and then they reopened starting with that same dragon, the same beast that was this deadly wound, the same guy. Now this Revelations dragon stuff, all that Tortoris stuff, a lot of that stuff is true, but none of it's been put in order. The 666 beast was the same guy that I told you. So I don't want to confuse the video, but that's Agenda 2030. That is Agenda 2030. I know it's unreal, but all this stuff will take place.